special guest, a remarkable soul who will share with us his insights in silence and enable us to experience the different relationships that we can have with God as a mother, as a friend, and as a guide. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome the Director of Brahma Kumaris for Asia and the Pacific and Australia, a remarkable soul, Brother Charlie Hogg.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. And I'd also like to add a very, very special welcome into this beautiful atmosphere with the wonderful music that's being provided. And I hope that in the next 40 to 50 minutes that we build this atmosphere together. What I would like to do is share a few thoughts, and then we will enter into silent conversation with God. Share a few more thoughts, more silent conversation. Some years ago, I saw a cartoon, and it was of a man who had a zip right around his head, from his ear here right around to here. And someone came and unzipped his head and lifted his head up like a suitcase and looked inside. And there were literally hundreds and hundreds of people in there. Many of them in deep conversation, some of them talking, some listening, some arguing, some fighting. And I thought it was a wonderful metaphor for our minds today. So many conversations going concurrently in our heads, in our thinking. Sometimes with others, sharing our feelings with others, trying to prove my point. Sometimes with myself. You know, that inner voice disapproving of myself, sometimes putting myself down. Sometimes I can talk to myself in a very harsh way with regret. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Sometimes conversations with situations. What's happening? Why is it happening? It shouldn't be happening. And at other times, fantasy conversations with a person in my dreams. It seems that the mind is constantly in conversation in some direction. It never stops. Out of my subconscious, these conversations keep bubbling into my conscious mind. And seeing this mind that overthinks constantly in these elongated conversations, I think we crave a peace inside. We crave a stillness. We crave a mind at rest. We crave silence. But I think at the same time we fear silence, because the conversations have a purpose. The noise of the mind has a purpose. The over-busyness, the overthinking has a purpose. It stops me from going really deep into my truth, to understand really who I am. And sometimes this sweet silence can be like a mirror. It's a mirror where I can see myself so clearly. And in that mirror, to look into that mirror, I need a lot of honesty inside and a lot of self-love and care. I've personally been a meditator for 40 years. And what I love about the journey in life of spirituality, this wonderful journey of learning about myself and coming closer and closer to God, is that we learn this very gentle self-observation. As I go about my life, I look at myself. And what I've noticed over the years is the conversations that go on, so many conversations. And I think at the heart of the conversations, it's about my story. In my memory track, there's so many stories and feelings, how I've been treated, what has happened, what they've said, what they've done. This story constantly goes, it never ends. And what I found recently, I begin to think of my mind as a sacred space inside. The image I have is of a beautiful crystal bowl, absolutely clean and clear, full of clear, pure water. This is my original state of my mind. And wisdom is to keep the negative and wasteful conversations out of my sacred space. But this sacred space has many gateways into it. One is my ears. My pool can be so calm and quiet. One conversation, a few words, a comment can enter through the gateway of my ears, and my conversation in my mind becomes heated and angry. I see something which is not fair or unjust. The gateway of the eyes allow the conversation in my mind to become one of great judgment and criticism. Or even the memory track, the gateway of my memory bubbles up into my mind and disturbs that sacred space. We need such a wisdom to be able to protect this sacred space so that I can have the most elevated conversation of all. And these really are the silent conversations with God. And in these conversations, I experience a love, a divine love, a quality of love I will never experience anywhere else. The quality of these conversations is the purity of love that is really offered. We search all my life for true love. All of us here tonight invest our hearts in our relationships with our families, our friends. We give everything. But there's a huge dilemma in human life, and that is that no relationship is permanent. No relationship is permanent. Whether it's change, whether it's time, whether it's separation, whether it's death, the object of my love goes. And this is why in these silent conversations we're exploring the one relationship that is permanent, that is always there. And so we're reconnecting with the lover of the soul. And sometimes when we forget who we are, we forget the lover of the soul. But in these conversations, we're going to reconnect with the lover of the soul and fill my mind and heart and conscience with that purity of silence. So what I'd love to do is invite you into our first silent conversation with God as our mother. And I'm going to make a request that we put phones down, we put books down, we put bags down, we sit a little erect. And if I can request, we put the pause button on all the other conversations going in my mind, from the workplace, from the family. This is a sacred time for a conversation with the One, with the Divine. And during this conversation, I'm going to suggest that an image of light will come behind me, I hope. And I'm going to suggest to keep your eyes open and just gently rest your vision on the image of light and follow the thoughts which are suggested. And if your mind wanders, just gently return your mind, not just to listen, but to feel. So let us sit quietly. Let me come in front of God as my loving mother. In the eye of my mind, I see a radiant jewel of light emanating divine love. Don't think too much. Just feel the love. Don't analyze too much. Just feel the divine love. How sweet are these feelings? I want to come closer and closer to my eternal mother. To do that, I also need to step into my light form. Just feel yourself stepping beyond your limited and temporary identity, your body, going beyond male, female, old, young, healthy, unhealthy, and step into my light form as a minute, sparkling star, a soul. Gently residing in the center of the forehead. The more I experience myself as the soul, I feel closer to you. Dear Mother, sweet Mother, I open my heart to you. I have nothing to hide. I have no fear. But over many years I've stored a lot of pain and hurt in my heart. So many unhappy conversations have blocked my heart. But now, dear Mother, I let your divine love flow into me. Just allow yourself to be totally loved. Remove all the barriers of self-dislike, what I've done, what I've said, and feel the purity of this love going to the core of my being. Feel the purity of this divine love washing me, caressing me, healing the core of my being. Mother, feeling your pure love, I can let go the past. I can let go the pain and the resentment. The hurt. And I feel myself being healed and restored to my original beauty. Your forgiveness and your acceptance helps me begin to love and respect myself. I feel myself stepping back into my self-value. You show me my own beauty, my own potential. Mother, I promise you I will never think badly or negatively of myself. I know the only thing you want of me is to be happy. experience God is my mother. The mind, it brings silence to my heart. The noise of my emotions begins to go. There are three sources of love in life: from the self, from God, and from others. Often not much love from me. Sometimes I have faith in God, but do I really feel that love? My one source of love is you, is others. When there's a conflict or a loss, my life goes into upheaval. Spirituality is strengthening the first two relationships of life. A loving relationship with me as a soul, and a loving relationship with God as my mother and father. Now I sit in front of God as my dear friend. Once again, step into your light form as a soul. Feel yourself letting go, identifying with what I do. Just feel yourself withdrawing, stepping back. The sweet feeling of letting go. Even letting go how I look, my physical image. The more I step back, I come into the presence of my dear friend, God as my friend. The more I become a soul, I feel this belonging. I feel so close. You are a friend who is always there. a friend who is totally trustworthy, a friend who will never let me down. You hold my hand in the face of this challenging world. You are always there. You are my support that enables me to face anything. Sometimes people are angry and aggressive. But you keep me cool and calm. Sometimes I'm criticized, but you tell me you love me. And I even get the strength from you not to take revenge and criticize back. Sometimes I don't feel so confident. But you are there to support me, my backbone, to give me the strength. But most of all, you always see my goodness, my dear friend. Your vision falls on my beauty. And with your love, I step into that vision with self-respect. With you, my sweet friend, I can be completely honest. I can share with you like no other. You listen to me and soothe me. Now for a few minutes, let me have a silent conversation of complete honesty with my true friend. Open your heart, share your heart. When I share so honestly, I feel light. The burden goes. Dear God, You have become such a friend that I also want to become everyone's friend. I suspend my judgmental nature and I offer love and compassion to everyone. My promise to you, my dear friend, is that I will have good wishes and pure feelings for everyone. In these sweet, loving conversations, my heart fills with the love of the mother, the belonging of my friend. But sometimes I feel lost in this world. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And then you, God, become my trusted guide. You show the light on the path that I need to follow. You show me where I am deceiving myself. Where I'm under the illusion of falsehood. You give me the strength to do what I know is right. But most of all, you tell me to remember you. The highest state of mind is to be lost in you and let go all the stories, the justifications, the blame, the excuses, the past. Let it all dissolve in this loving union with my trusted guide. My mind in your love becomes so silent. It's filled with divine feelings of love, of peace, of joy and power. There is just I, the soul, linked to you, the Supreme Being. My mind wanders nowhere else. And in you I dip into the essence of love, the essence of peace, the essence of purity. I feel all my strength returning. My only responsibility is to remember you. And sometimes the old conversations return. My mind is pulled to the stories of someone's behavior, of my mistakes. And when that happens, let me remember to sit with you and return to this sweet place. A place where my sacred space of my mind is filled with your love and your joy. When I wake in the morning, let me sit in front of my mother. As I progress through the day, let me hold the hand of my friend and be guided by you. These silent conversations with one will heal the heart, heal the mind, and heal the conscience. To sit with you regularly is an act of love for myself. We live in a world that's so chaotic, and yet when I remember you, my mind cools down, and I can spread that vibration to everyone I come in touch with. Let me pledge to have these silent conversations with you on a daily basis. I'd like to invite the yogis back on stage.